How do the wanted, see it, get it techniques work? Let me give you a few examples.
Well, I remember one time in college, one of my best friends was dating a guy, and he seemed perfect. He was tall, dark, and handsome. But there was something about him that just didn't sit right with me, and so I told my friend, and she said, "You're being ridiculous." A couple months later, we find out that he was dating 5 girls on campus and that he was telling them all the same lines. My friend quickly dumped him, and looking back at it, I realized that I was using my inner sense, and I didn't even know it.
These WSG techniques work because they get you in touch with your intuition, inner voice, true self, powers of creative visualization, or whatever you want to call this very powerful force within you. Often these techniques are covered up, downplayed, or discounted in modern society because today we emphasize solving problems and working out solutions logically because of this emphasis on being rational. For example, that's the way the leaders of our society, such as judges, lawyers, engineers, and business people, are supposed to be making decisions, and they are praised for this ability.
Such approaches are fine, but we can also tap into our intuitive, non-rational side and gain greater insight and belief. Then, combined with rational techniques, or by themselves, we can come up with better decisions and choices. This reactive, super-sensitive awareness is very similar to an animal's awareness of predator or prey, the ability to tell whether it is food or danger nearby, and then react accordingly. This inner sensing and intuitive ability has been linked to creative visualization and imagery, which is often associated with the right hemisphere of the brain, which has a holistic mode of perception, whereas the left hemisphere has a more linear, logical mode. This holistic ability leads to creativity, visual imagery, dreams, symbols, and synthesis. Brain researchers have actually discovered physical proof of the power of the mind. During PET scans and brain imaging techniques, they've discovered increased blood flow to the visual cortex in the back of the brain when people work on visual tasks. The auditory senses are also stimulated when you hear sounds, and the cerebellum, which is in charge of motor activity, has been shown to be stimulated when people merely visualize motor skills.
So the real physical correlates to what you mentally imagine or visualize, and that's what these WSG techniques help you do. Clearly see what you want, so this intuitive creative force within you will be activated and help you get it.
This inner force helps you get what you want by operating powerfully in 2 main modes. The first is the receptive mode. That's where you tune into that inner knowledge and understanding that you don't pick up on rationally. You can then use that insight and information to help you make better decisions, recognize problems, set goals and priorities, and better assess those people you work with on a daily basis. The second is the active mode. That's where you can take the information that you receive from those insights and actively act upon it. You can use that information to shape yourselves and influence and affect others. Typically, you use both approaches. Commonly, your intuitive perception will allow you to create images and visualize. Some people tap into an inner voice for words or thoughts, while others experience feelings or sensations. Use whatever technique works for you. And over time, your ability to tap into that creative power will increase with these techniques.
And here are even more examples of people who gained when they followed their intuition and those who ran into difficulties when they didn't.
2 weeks ago, I just had this weird feeling that my mom, to call my mom. Didn't really know why, but I just decided to call her. And sure enough, when I called her, I found out that she was just really stressed out about something at work. She'd gotten into a fight with one of her coworkers, a little argument. And so I was thinking, oh, that's so strange that I just had that feeling, and then, sure enough, I called her, and I'm glad I did.
Recently, a friend and I were involved in a possible job opportunity, and something within me told me it wasn't quite true. My friend followed up on it, and even speaking to the guy, it wasn't quite right. It turned out later, I was correct in following my intuition. My friend lost a lot of money.
One night I was walking towards my car, and it wasn't that dark outside. There were a few people around when I saw a group of kids approaching me. And immediately I felt some kind of tingling sensation and felt that I should be really, really cautious. But then I thought, they're just kids, not that dark around, and there are people around. So I kept on walking to my car, and when I got there, the group of kids charged towards me. One of them knocked me down, and the other one tried to grab my purse. And I managed to make it out safely, but looking back, I realized that I should have paid attention to that inner sense. But instead, I ignored it, thinking that I knew better.
Here are the 4 keys to accessing and using your intuitive creative force effectively. Number 1, know you have this intuitive creative force within you, and you can use it to guide you. Number 2, pay attention when you feel a sense of knowing, energy, or urgency rising within you. Number 3, notice what this force is urging you to do. And number 4, respond to what you feel this force wants you to do, whether that's go after what you want more energetically or stay away.
And then be prepared to take action with this 3-step process. 1, be aware and receptive to that creative force and how it communicates within you, however it communicates, whether it's seeing, feeling, hearing, or knowing. 2, consider and clarify how you want to respond to this inner knowledge and intuition. And 3, take action. With your awareness and decision to respond, take action.
So go for it, go! And in the next video, we'll show you how to get properly prepared for using these techniques.